My name is Kate Helmer, and this is part 2 of my Intro to Pipeline series, where we're going to see the output of the pipeline that we saw in the previous video. So if you have not seen the previous video where we walk through setting up the pipeline, please go and watch that first and then come back and finish up here. So the pipeline that we created is a two-step pipeline. The first part is to load data. And I've got some product data for my candy shop that I would like to be loading today. And then the second part is running a calculation script to calculate that. So the way that we're going to validate that that all worked today is I'm going to navigate first to a web form that I've set up under the data tab. And I've got this web form called Kate's Candy Form. It's hard to see. Click on that. So this is my form. And so as you can see, currently there is no data within my form. I've got my chocolate, my gummy snacks, and then if I scroll down, you can see some other miscellaneous candy. So part of the data load today will be to load these first 3 columns, so the cost per unit, the sales price, and the units sold. And then the calculation script will then calculate the margin per unit with just a simple subtraction of cost from sales. And then the product sales will be a simple multiplication of sales price times unit sold. So pretty simple piece here, but this is hopefully will be filled in with data after we run our pipeline. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of this right now and navigate back to our pipeline. So that is under data exchange. Again, we've got our Kate's Candy pipeline here, and just to show you the data, so this is the data file that will be loading. So I have my products and my other intersections here, and then my accounts. So I've got my number of units, my product cost per unit, and my product sales price per unit. Then this file with my amount column. So a pretty simple file for us to be loading here as part of that pipeline. And then the second step will be that calculation. So just to remind everyone, again, we've got our 2 steps in our pipeline. We've got 1 to load the data and then 2 to run the calculate. So I'm going to go ahead and clear out of that, and we're going to go ahead and run this pipeline. One thing to remember is if you are loading data from a file, a flat file, so say you have an FTP, you will probably need to either upload a file first, either manually, or have some sort of EPM Automate or REST API set up to take that file from whatever FTP location and upload it into the cloud. If you have your integration set up as a either direct feed from another cloud Oracle application or via the EPM integration agent, you shouldn't have to do that step. So the data would be pulled fresh from the source directly if your integration step is pulled from that. All right, and we will be going and doing our start and end period, import mode, and go from this. So if I did set this up with our variables, I wouldn't have to check that. We also have the send mail piece. So this is going to send me an email to my email address and attach a log, yes or no. I'm going to have it say yes if we do get a log, and then I'm going to go ahead and press run to run that pipeline. And you can see up here we get a confirmation that it's successfully submitted. We'll give it a moment to be run. If I go to process details, here you can see that it did indeed run successfully with user 2. So this was the data load component. So you can see here it's imported my file, transformed it, exported it, and loaded it into my planning application here. And if we go to our jobs card, you can see that it ran my second step, which was calculating my margin and sales number. So both of those steps did complete, and you can see that. I'm going to go back now to my web form under data. Pull this up, and you can see now that my base data loaded from the file as well as my calculated data is already populated in my form, and I'm ready to do my analysis. Great. So that's the pipelines feature. I would like to see some enhancement potentially with seeing the results of the calculation scripts within the pipeline process details. But overall, it was a very easy setup and a nice way to string together multiple activities into one, button click. So try it out. And if you have any questions, feel free to send me a note. Thanks, everyone.